And I took Apple off this bounce off this 8. I do like the daily chart on it as well. If I switch to daily chart, it looks pretty nice. Again, we've got blue here today after this bounce. It's a pretty nice little bounce. Nice little setup in Apple. Earnings next Thursday, but I'm long here with some calls. Um, I'll post the ones I did take. It's probably going to be a little bit of a chase at the moment. I'd wait for a little pullback. I'm going to alert on this as well. The ones I'm buying is a 250, 250. Whoops. I'm buying the 250, 250 calls. You can buy lowest. You can buy a lower strike if you want to, or a higher strike. But I'm buying the October 31st 250, 250 calls. And again, I paid $13.38 for them. So I would say try to get them for around $13.50. It's a little bit higher than that right now, but a little bit of a pullback will get you in at about $13.50. And if you want to go down, if you want to go to a less expensive, you can probably go all the way down to the 260s if you want to. Yeah, I wouldn't go to 260. Maybe 260, 257.50, 257.50. They're 1040 by 1055, and they have a delta of about 65. Apple pulling back here, so now you probably can get filled cheaper. And again, Apple's a little extended, so there's some potential for some pullback here toward the 8. But this is a pretty nice setup as we move toward earnings next week. Oracle's been very volatile. Yep, ever since the earnings call, for sure. There was a 40% jump during earnings. It's very bearish right now, coming up on the 50-day moving average. Hood could be setting up for a PBO. Shy? Yeah, it's a deep PBO. We talked about this a little earlier. It pulled back pretty hard, but yeah, it's looking decent right now. Look, you've got I've got alerts on Apple and Hood as a cross below the 15. Yeah, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Apple still bouncing right, holding the 8 pretty nicely here right now. I mean, if I get a big enough move in Apple today, I'm going to take it off. PNW looking good, Roger. PNW. Take a look at the daily on it. Yeah, PNW is also a PBO right here. PNW. Again, these technology stocks are pretty strong today. Pretty nice move right here on PNW, moving up. J also. Jacobs. Yeah. It's okay. I mean, it's about halfway up that red candle, so just be careful. There's going to be some resistance right there. What was my limit sell price on coin, Scott? I set my limit at 267. 267. I get in for 217. I set it for 267. It's just kind of moving sideways right now. Market moving sideways. Coin drifting right here along the 15. Apple's still holding up pretty nicely here. Apple Blue Sky, do I have a target? I haven't really set one yet on Apple. I mean, it looks like an all-time high. I don't know if it's an all-time high. No, it's not. Not an all-time. Yeah, maybe it is. Looks like an all-time high in Apple. Now I'm just gonna watch momentum on it. I'm just gonna have to play that by ear, Terry. Google breaking out as well. Yep, Google with a breakout. Nice setup on Google as well. This is another really good tech trade that's looking good right here. Google got up through this resistance level here, pull back, moving through it today. You want to see it stay above that 255.78. There's the SPY moving sideways. Apple it's got decent relative strength. Apple does right now. Gordon, the Apple bounces off the VWAP have been good. Yeah, they have been. Yep, new all-time high on Google. Maxim, thank you. Hey, Sacklin, welcome to the room. Oh, you joined after watching me on YouTube. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Nice to have you here. Try to ask any questions you want. Again, we got a fairly bullish day today in the market. After that, but we're still in a. By the way, we're still in a. If we look at the SPY, remember this is one thing here we have to keep an eye on. We broke out of this wedge, you notice, but you notice we're still trading inside of this candle here. This is what we want to see. We need to see the breakout to an all-time high. All right, breakout to an all-time high, 673.95. This is the breakout to the all-time high on the SPY. There's Apple right there, still moving up. Hey, Ram Kumar, Google has looked good before, and someone will talk about ChatGTP and Perplexity eating its lunch, and it will drop 2%. Yeah, but you got to look at that. All I'm going by is the charts. Anything can drop these stocks and move these stocks up. News is Google. All this stuff with ChatGTP and Perplexity. Obviously, they're competing with Google as far as that's concerned. But Google's still got a pretty beautiful chart here. That's all I can say. It's not going to hit that bad if it puts in a new all-time high. But all of these stocks everything's tentative. The market's very tentative right now. That's why you can't really take too many long trades for very long. Like I say, if I can get a move in Apple today, I paid $1,338 a contract for these things on Apple. All right. So right now they're trading at about $1,430. All right. So I'm up about $100 a contract on Apple, and what I might do is peel some off and then and then hold some more. But for anybody who's in the trade, I would say put a seller in for 14.50, and take the money, because it is a little extended, and this market's pretty strong today, and it has earnings next week, so we do have a limited amount of time on it. But that's what I would go for, 13.50 to 14.50 on this thing, and I'm just going to take off part. Apple's trading at 14.70 right now. This is if you get filled on the for 13.50, you're out of it right now at 14.50. And I'm going to take some of mine off right now. All right, so 14.50 got filled on Apple. It's still moving up. I just took some of my contracts off at 14.60. I just got to be conservative, put in there 14.50. It's way more than that. It's going for about 14.60 right now. And so part of my Apple position, I closed it here on the service at 14.50. Coin just kind of meandering right now. It's starting to pop just a bit. Market internal still bullish. Market's still bullish. Okay, see if we get some message. Any questions here? It's about 11:52. Q is good, looking for a SPY super system setup. Rajul? Q's. Yeah, they're coming off the 15 here. They're getting this very choppy market right now. You know, the trend is moved to just sideways. I'd be focusing more on stocks personally right now. That's why I liked Apple. Apple had really good strength to the market. And I like Coin had really good strength to the market. William, filled an Apple. Nice trade. Quick dollar makes the day profitable. Yeah, it sure does. Apple filled 14.60. Good job, Terry. That made 125 on Apple. Thanks, Pat. Yeah, Rajul, just, you know, the SPY super system is great for the indexes, but it also works on stocks. And you really want to find something if the market's just kind of doing what it is here right now, which is not doing much of anything. We had a nice move up. Now as the market is just moving sideways, don't jump into the indexes right now. Look for stocks. That's why Apple was such a nice trade. It had relative strength in the market. I still like coin, and we got all weekend coin, so we'll see how that goes. Suzanne, good job. $8 on Apple, good job. Trump on deck, yeah, he's comes on off and on all day long. And but a lot of that stuff is it's shock, just quick reactions. The tariff thing is another situation. But again, remember with tariffs, there is some tariffs on, but there's a lot of talk about all these tariffs, like 100% on China. We're going to have 100% tariffs on China. We're not going to have 100% tariffs on China. I mean, it's all rhetoric. They're all it's all posturing. Between the rare earth from China and the tariffs from the United States, it's just basically it's a pissing contest. Yeah, I took some of my Apple off, and I'm probably gonna take the rest of it off if the market starts to show this kind of just flatness. Is really, really flat. All right, gotta look for some more trades here. Again, right now the market's coming in, so I'm glad I'm out of Apple. It's still holding up pretty good, but I'm glad I took profits in part of my Apple, and I closed the trade out for the room. So that's all done. See what happens with Bitcoin here. Again, these Bitcoin's very, very volatile stock, so that's why I took a debit spread in it. Again, debit spread gives me a lot more staying power because of the fact that I've got a short. I get a short call on this. To mitigate the long call if the market starts to pull back. We're getting a little bit of selling here right now in the market. Will it last? No idea.
Trump, Boeing is doing really well.
I'm still having trouble with it. Amazon Web Services, by the way. We've had all kinds of problems with it this morning. They said they've applied multiple mitigations in the U.S. East. One zone is still experiencing elevated errors for new EC2 instances launches. So that's if you're having any problem with the trading platform this morning, that's likely where it's coming from. Okay. So watching the market here now, we had a little pullback here and then a bounce again. Now it's very choppy at this point. Market internal is still holding up pretty well. So, and Apple again, I took profits in part of my position, and I've still got a little bit left, and I'm still in coin. Coin's still trading about 225. Again, that's that's the advantage of having a debit spread. Straight calls on this thing would have been down a lot more than that right now. Well, this is actually up, so it's trading at 227. So it's actually up $10 from what I paid for it. The calls would be down. Right. See if we have any questions over on YouTube. Oh, new people here. Good morning, Sam. Good morning. Am I still in the ABBV trade? I certainly am. Radali, yep. It's right here. Still in it. It's moving up today. I need to have some price action on this thing this week. It's putting in a PBO, and it is moving above. This morning it is moving back up above the 8 and the 15 right here. So we'll see where that goes. JD has a big move through the 150 a day and the 8 and the 15, Sam. JD? Okay. Yeah, it's, again, this is a Chinese stock. If you look at JD, if you look at BABA this morning, whoops. BABA is I think it's a little bit better than JD as far as the technicals are concerned on it. JD looks pretty good coming off of this low here, but you still got to get through this 15, and you need to close above there, and then you get the 200-day moving average up there. It's not something I would take personally, but it did have a nice bounce in it there. Hey Rick, good morning. Hey Ryan. Not sure if this is a rude question. When I peeled off some of my, leave the rest, how many do you peel off versus keep on? Well, in this particular case, I took half of them off. It's not a rude question. I mean, a lot of this is very subjective when you're peeling out of trades like that. I mean, it's a subjective situation. You're trying to judge as best you can, and I'm doing a bunch of other things at the same time. So, if I was just trading myself, wasn't doing anything with room or anything like that, I would be able to focus better on in trades, and I probably would, manage them a little bit better as far as exits for profits are concerned. But I've got to get them in there and get out and get back to some other things. So I just took half of my Apple off. This coin pulling back right now. Again, still the market's getting kind of choppy here. The SPY's pulling back a little bit. Market internal still holding up, so that's a relatively bullish sign. They've been holding up bullishly all day long. A little after 12 o'clock. Apple still holding up pretty nicely. Notice it's right between, as I said, the 8 and the 15 I like to use together because a lot of times a break below the 8 will support on the 15. And on the daily chart as well, it does that a lot. Gonna watch Bitcoin here. It's got a support level here, or resistance level 349.49 right there. It's right on it. That's a high volume resistance level or support level. But it's trying to trade inside that void. That's the trade I'm taking based on that inside that void. to see if it'll pop up today to around 360 or so. Very volatile. Bitcoin, crypto stocks, very volatile. AWS outage is affecting a lot more than is in the news. Google Fi phone service is affected. Calls are not going through. Some folks I used to work with are discussing the failed online transactions. Great. Retail for hosted businesses. Anecdotal, interesting. Yeah, we rely on AWS for a lot. Yeah, most platforms use that thing. I haven't had any problems with my trade here this morning, so I'm happy for that. Do I ever trade tick charts? Joseph, I do not trade tick charts. No. I don't even trade 1 minutes. I just trade off the 5-minute chart. I mean, that's scalping and hyper scalping. I don't like to do that. I mean, a lot of traders do trade that way, but they're too fast for me. They're too much stress. I don't really want to be a trader that sits here with a bottle of antacids next to me all day long to trade off of tick charts. And you can do well at it, I understand, but I'm trying to have an environment here where it's not stressful, where it's methodical, disciplined, and when you're trading off of tick charts, believe me, it's much more chaotic, obviously, because you're getting a lot of that is noise, and you got to be really quick on those kind of things. You've not entered coin yet, would it be best to wait? Yeah, but if you haven't entered it, it's best to wait and wait to make sure that it's at support level on coin 349.49. It's a little slightly above it right now, but I wouldn't rush into it right now on this pullback. I mean, I've got it on, so I'm going to keep it on. But I would be waiting for this stock to bounce back up above the 8 right here and the 15 right here and get above there. And then I would perhaps take a look at it. 352, 53, get in for a lower price. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's going for right this second. Let me look. It's going for $1.97 right now. And again, I paid $2.17, so I'm down about 20 cents on this thing. But again, this is very early in the trade right now. But I would still wait. I would still wait for it to bounce back up and show bullishness again, because see this right here? See how it's gone bearish? You don't really want to be going into a long trade when this is red or yellow. You want to wait for this to become green. Apple right here, still looking pretty good. Apple trading right now at 14.57. Again, I get out 14.60, trading at 14.57. I'll consider pulling off the other half if we get a continuation of the bounce here. Again, just forget, if you see a trade, just because you can get in cheaper doesn't mean it's a good time to get in. You might have to pay more for it, but you're also going to have some conviction that the trade is more likely to work. Just getting in at lower prices isn't any good which you're being presented with right now is bearishness on the coin, it had relative strength versus the market this morning. Right now, it's actually got relative weakness to the market, and this is typical with cryptos. They're very, very volatile. UNH working pretty well, by the way. I'm still in UNH with calls up about $7 today. Apple's still holding up pretty nicely with the market here. It's got good relative strength to the market. Coin does not right now. Coin's pulling down toward the VWAP. Okay, be right back. Oh yeah, earlier. Oh boy, look at that. Very impressive. It didn't? Ruthie. Come on. Get with the program. Get you some water.
I got plenty.
You ain't not gonna work. You don't have tea either, I don't think.
I have one sip.
That's not enough.
That's
Water's over here. Oh, I bet you're real cold. Got a few new people in today. Somebody
Good.
said, I signed up today. I've been watching you on YouTube for a few weeks.
Oh, good.
Oh. I get the sinuses killing me on this side. Not killing me, but
Yeah.
I mean, I can feel it here, and I can feel it in my nose. All the way, this right thing here. That's definitely a sinus, I think.
Yep. That's what it is. I got a little bit of pressure and a
Tummy?
tummy upset. Yeah. It's my time in the, when the season changes, I get nauseated. So this one I took the last of the opioids.
Oh, okay. Gonna have some oatmeal. Have some lunch a little bit.
Yeah. I'm supposed to go walking and then
What?
I was all set to go walking and then I saw this.
What is that? Squirrel?
Yeah.
You could have waited for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be there when you get back.
Always better in the morning.
Huh?
Busy?
Yeah. Busy, a lot of people. 80-something people already in there.
That's good. You have no trades or?
Yeah, we've taken I've had quite a good trades today.
Oh,
Hence
good.
my super system trade twice for some good money. Just took a trade for Apple I gave to the room, made some good money in that right off the bat.
Ah.
And one coin is still against me. UNH is moving up, I've got that one good. Friday. Yeah, we're making money right now.
Goody. I love that. Smells like money.
All right. So just kind of getting a little something to drink here. Watching the market, I'm going to be looking for some additional trades. Coin, I'm still waiting to see if we get a little bounce in this thing. Apple still looking pretty good here. Probably going to pull the other half off pretty soon if we get one. Next bounce, I'm probably going to take it off. SPY's coming back down again. Again, and remember, on your daily chart, remember we're trading, still trading inside of that big candle from a week ago Friday, when the tariff was, the 100% tariff talk was drove the market down. So you can't be exuberantly bullish on the market right now. Although we have broken out of the wedge, we broke out of this wedge and broke up above here. So the next resistance level is really the strongest one is right here at the all-time high. That's where we're likely to find resistance. We've still got a little ways to get there. Let me put it in here. All right, it's also part of that wedge. All right, so there is the all-time high, and that's the next resistance level. And again, we want to stay above this wedge. By trying to bounce. Apple just riding right along the 15, just below the 8. And coin, which pulled back, is still pulling back toward the VWAP. Coin still coming in. SPY really just getting pretty choppy here now. Apple still just moving sideways. A lot of compression taking place at the moment. Again, I'm gonna watch coin. Again, we'll see what happens when it gets to the VWAP. Been very volatile today. UNH, which I still have a position in, is up really nicely today. $7.50. Pretty nice move in UNH. GLW, which I still have some left, although I closed the trade out in the room from already last week. Up slightly here today, actually up pretty decently today, 0.5%. ABBV, waiting to see if we can get a decent bounce in this thing. Trying to bounce today. It is up a little bit, up $1.50 here, trading at 231, but we need to get it up more than that. We got 227.50, so $103.50 in the money. On that, we need a significant bounce in ABBV this week. T21 is still climbing in this T-back, the pullback. Yeah, the T2104, which is the same thing as what we got over here in the VOLD, basically, it's representing that, is still bullish. And it's been pretty bullish all day long. It hasn't really. If I look at show you the T2104 that I was just talking about. See this? You see this move up here today? Right, here's the market open. This thing has not hesitated. It had a couple of little candles in here, but it was blue. Now it's green, but this is still a nice move up. Here it is right here. Here's the market. So you see the market pulling back. T2104 holding up. There's a little bit of a divergence here to the bullish side right now in T2104. And that, over here we relate that and think of swim to the VOLD. This is green up, that means the VOLD. If I look at the VOLD, whoops, $sign VOLD, what you're going to see is the momentum indicator right down here looking pretty strong, and you notice it looks just like the T2104. And this is telling us it's been bullish all day long. Again, that's the market internals, which is basically the total amount of volume on stocks moving up minus the total total amount of volume. Stock's moving down. When you've got to move like this, you're getting a lot more upside volume than you are downside volume. Joseph, I use the 5 minute. What other time frames do I use when analyzing? Well, you know, if you look at these indicators here, this is the 5 minute. This is the 5 minute on the SPY. This is the 5 minute. This is the 5, 15, and 45. This is looking at the momentum across 3 different time frames. And if I go to the daily chart, I have more. But typically, what I look at when I'm looking for a 5 minute, when I'm trading 5 minutes, I'm basically using this right here, the current time frame momentum. I'm using the price action, and I'm using the VWAP, the 15, and the 8. That's all I'm really using. I don't usually go to the hourly to see where things are. I'm looking at the daily, and I'm looking at the 5 minute. And you can obviously drill down to the 4 hour and the hourly, etc., things like that, to look at what you're getting for if you're getting confluence across those different time frames. But I don't usually do that. I usually just use the 5 and the daily. The daily chart's got to be bullish if I'm going long. But there's nothing wrong with using the 1 hour and the 4 hour to see if you're going to stay in a trade a little bit longer. For example, if you switch to the 1 hour or the 4 hour, and you're going to trade that trend, it's going to keep in the trade a little bit longer, because obviously there's going to be your support and resistance level is going to be different than they are on the 5 minute. But typically I don't do that. I mean, a lot of people do that. Nothing wrong with that. You know, I've used to use the 15 minute a lot. I just do confirmation. You know, if I get a bullish move, I'd want confirmation the 15 minutes is bullish as well. But when I'm trading like SPY super system trades, so these are going to be relatively short duration anyway. So, you know, if I don't have the 15 aligned with it, it's okay, because as long as it gets above my support and resistance levels and holds there. The key here is getting into the trade very close to a support or resistance level, right? Not to chase it, not to chase it when it's moving up or chase it when it's moving down. Wait for it to get to a support and bounce off of that. Like if you try to take the SPY right here, okay, it went green, took a SPY super system trade here, you got to pop out of the box, you're out of it right here. If you went up, it's back out down below the 8, you get out. So you're not taking big losses on those kind of trades. But again, I wouldn't recommend it. There was a decent trade this morning, but right now there is no trend to trade. You know, this to go long here on this, it would be kind of crazy really, because you don't have a trend. I mean, you've got to move up, you've got a compression. There's no, it's not getting back into the trend right now. We're just chopping. Joseph, it seems like the 5 minute has levels that are more respected compared to the 1 minute. Yeah, the 1 minute is very noisy. I mean, there's a lot of noise in there. You know, I that's why I don't use the 1 minute chart. It's a hyper scalping type, just like using ticks. They're up and down really quickly. You've got to be very quick. I don't like to trade like that, and I don't think for anybody who wants to be consistently profitable as a long-term trader, I just don't think it's the way to do it. A lot of people like that, especially new traders or people that are, you know, pretty new to trading, pretty young, a little bit more cowboyish, looking for these big wins. They'll trade like that. Most of them go broke. I mean, most of them blow their accounts up. Joseph, does the Ninja have the compression box arrows? I don't think so. No, I think these pop out of the box symbols. I think these arrows are just on the SPY super system here. Shia took the hood off the 15 EMA here. Looking for intraday. Might hold overnight on hood. Okay. Yeah, it's coming right off of the 15 and the 8's right here. I mean, I'm not particularly enamored with the market right now. Market has had a nice move up here this morning. It's really pretty flat right now. So I'm not ready to jump into anything until the market tells me to. And right now, it's not giving me those kind of vibes. Joe, savvy trader from the Discord room, says in his opinion, 1 minute's are completely worthless. I agree. I don't use them at all. I mean, I know a lot of traders like this stuff. Listen, you go over to Wall Street Bets and some of these other places, they're trading this crap up and down, a few cents here and there. It's just not going to work long term for you, and it's very stressful. Hood making a nice little move here off of the 15 that Shai just talked about. You see, nice little entry there on Hood. I don't like this, but this is likely to switch back to blue again pretty soon. Probably on the close of this candle. But see, if you've taken stuff like this without this, you're really kind of front running. In other words, you're anticipating that it's going to move up. Which, if it works in your direction, you do better because you make more money on it than waiting for confirmation. I wouldn't take it because of that, but the setup here is pretty nice. Obviously, it's got good relative strength. And if you don't have this buy super system, then you don't know that, and it looks pretty good. 1 minute is noise. Yes, it certainly is. Joe says, might as well trade Unirenko and go 30 seconds. Yeah, and that's a lot of future traders trade. They trade off of Unirenko, but I don't. Yeah, you don't have. I know, Shai, you're going off the price action, and the price action is nice on Hood. It's a nice setup, and you notice that it's going to blue here right now. It's because it's trading just above 20. So this becomes now a setup. You do have a standard deviation line here, but that's a pretty nice setup on Hood right here. Yes, it has relative strength, absolutely. Joseph, the compression box. No, I don't believe that's those. I'm almost 100% sure there's no these arrows are not on Ninja. They're just on Thinkorswim. This is where we put them on Thinkorswim. Ninja's a different animal. Ninja is most of it's used for futures trading, for the most part, and a lot of those are quick type trades. So again, I don't really get involved in that very much. Joe, you use the futures. You use 2 minutes, plenty fast. Use the rules and price action. Yeah, for the stocks. I mean, futures is completely different. You have no relative strength, relative weakness to compare against, unless you're just comparing against one of the other futures trades. Trading the SPY against the Qs or something. But it's a different animal. Futures are more difficult to trade, regardless of what you think. They're more difficult to trade. Because you don't, in a case like Apple today, for example, you've got relative strength against the market. It gives you another criteria to give you an edge to the market. Coin trade still open, Arisha? Yeah, I'm still into coin. I wouldn't recommend getting back into it again until we get some more indication of some relative strength, but it is starting to look pretty good. But yeah, I'm still in it. It's going for let's see, coin. It's going for 203. I paid 217, so I'm a little underwater on the thing. All right. Going out?
Yes, I am. I have to do my walk.
All right. Have a good one. I'm going to get lunch here in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'll eat lunch when I come back.
I was wondering how many people in the room use TradingView. Shai's asking if how many people in the room use TradingView. If you use TradingView, let me know. I've used to use it. I don't use it anymore. I use TC2000. But just curious how many people use TradingView. If it would be useful to you to have the SPY Super System indicators on there. You have to pay for them, of course. You have to buy them, but I'm not just going to get a judgment of interest. This coin still pulling down here. See, notice still pretty red here. Nothing I really want to add to it all at this point. Joseph, you've watched several of my webinars to understand the SPY day trades. Seems that you enter when both the color changes on the current time frame and you're bouncing or breaking through a major resistance level. Oops. Like the VWAP or the 15. Absolutely, that's how the trade is set up. You're using your SPY Super System to tell you the institutions are coming in. So it goes to blue or green if it's going breaking up, and you're looking for a break above the 15 or the VWAP. And I even use the 8 now. So yeah, that's exactly what you're looking for. See, this is I can't take this right now because I don't have the momentum in my favor. Back here when I took the SPY today, when I took Apple today, you see what he had. See how he had this break above the VWAP, and it went from selling to buying. That's what I'm looking for. It's an additional. I mean, you could take something like this, but you don't have the institutions in there with you yet, and you really do want them in there. It's very, very effective. I mean, last I looked at the records on this, just on the SPY and Qs and IWM, SPY Super System trades, which I also use on some stocks. After putting in last week's trades on the SPY Q, IWM, SPY Super System, I got a profit factor of about 4.10, which is really pretty high. Most, if you know what profit factor is, a profit factor of 1 is break even. 2 is really, really good. Most of our trades that we take outside of the SPY Super System trades run about 2.6 to 2.7 on profit factor, but the SPY Super System trades are running over 4. And the reason is because the losses are really tiny because you're getting in, if you should be getting in right at a support or resistance level. So you keep your losses relatively small. Using Heiken Ashi mainly. Heiken Ashi is I use it a lot. On a choppy day, if I'm going to trade like the SPYs, if the market's choppy, I'm not going to use Heiken Ashi candles if I get an entry here off something like this, because I may only get 2 candles out of it. But on a trending day, on like back then when it's trending like this, you can use Heiken Ashis, and that gives you the confirmation of the reversal back into the trend. Yeah, so Heiken Ashi is very, very effective for that type of trading, and I use it all the time on daily charts if I'm looking to swing. Loss is not that tiny for you. Yeah, Doug, even when you close close to the VWAP at 15, usually 30 to 50 cents. A lot of it depends on the price movement and how big those red candles are when the price moves down. But 30 to 50 cents is not. I mean, 30 cents on a SPY is not an awful lot. SPY moves a lot. Qs especially would even be more. IWM, you likely, if you were trading IWM, those losses would be probably more in the 15 to 25 cent level. But the point is, if you're running an 85% win rate on these things, and you know you're watching these things moving, and you're basically just trading when momentum comes down and you get a move up. That one this morning was good for. I took about 70 cents on it, but it was good for about $1.10. And you know, if you're losing even 50 cents, but you've got it, but you're making, you know, somewhere between 50 and 80 cents or 90 cents on a trade, and you're winning 85% of your trades, you've really got a good profit factor there. You know, and that's why I can't call the trades. I can point them out when I see them, but I can't post them or call them out or alert on them. These are trades that you have to get good at. You've got to get good at reading price action. I've given you the setups with the indicators and everything and how to use them, but they're quick trades. You have to be managing these. You've got to get into them and out of them yourself. You've got to learn how to do that. Again, I have a video on the whole thing. A lot of people are very good at doing this, but there is some skill involved with trading quick trades like that. You know, and you can always get disrupted by any kind of a news blurb that comes out and the market flushes down. You get a big, huge red candle. I mean, that can happen. But of course, you could have a big, huge green candle too, and have it, if you're going long, have it in your favor. You're currently under PDT limits, so you can't really day trade. What would be advice? Well, I tell you, you obviously can't take the SPY Super System trades unless you if you have a cash account, you can do it. But cash accounts have drawbacks because you can't do, most of the time you can't do spreads depending on your broker. And also, when you close the trade out, it doesn't clear that day. You got to wait at least one more day, sometimes 2 days to get the money. So you're basically, the money's out of your account for a day or two. But you don't have any PDT rules to worry about. Now, PDT is going to change here in the next few months. It's 25,000 is going to go away. It's going to be more in the neighborhood of about 2,500, I think, for what you'd have to have for balance, which is going to change day trading a lot. But for you, for right now, if you're just in here, you basically, I would just wait for the alert type stocks or trades that we take, because when I take a trade on an alert, most of those are off the daily chart, which means you can hold on to them. Even if I close them out during the day, like this Apple trade, even though I closed it out, if you were in it and you couldn't day trade it, you could hold on to that. All right, it's unlikely you as a day trader with under PDT are going to take a trade that costs $1,300. But if you did, you can hold it because the stock is bullish on the daily chart. Any stock that goes out in an alert is basically set up to be structured as a swing trade, even if I close it that day. That's why sometimes I'll close some part and hold the others. But the swing trades and any time spreads we do are overnight time spreads. Typically, you got to be able to hold those on time spreads. Straddles and strangles a lot of times can be also overnight. A thing called the weekly ATM strategy that we use. That's a stock that that's a trade you're gonna be in for a while. So most of the trades that are alerted or any of those particular trades are going to allow you to stay in the trade for a period of time, overnight at least. All time spreads are like that. SPY trying to bounce here. What do I say will be changing from a regulatory basis for day trading? Yeah, I don't know exactly when it's going to be, Doug. They've already approved it, but it has to go through the channels. PDT rules, 25,000 is going away. It's either going to be like 2,500 or a percentage of your margin. I mean, that they haven't decided on that yet, but the 25,000 requirement in order to do intraday trades is going to disappear. But it's going to be a few months. All right, and check YouTube. I got to get some lunch here in a minute. Yeah, as Sam points out, if you're under PDT, you're allowed 3 intraday trades every 5 days. It's a rolling period. So every rolling 5-day period, you can have 3 intraday trades. So you can do some of it. Some people actually go in and they set up multiple accounts and do 3 in each one of them, etc. It gets kind of convoluted to try to do some of that stuff. But yeah, that's what the rule is. You can do day trades, but you can only do 3 in a 5-day period. But when I set up the trades, most of the trades I take, all the ones that are alerted on, they're set up to be day trades. So if you have it, you can take it off. I mean, they're set up to be swing trades. So if I take it off that day and you aren't limited by the number of trades you can take, or you haven't taken up to 3, then you can take it off. But just know that stock is set to be held overnight if you have to. SPY trying to move here. Hood's starting to look pretty good here now. Notice we've gone to blue, above the 15, above the 8. Nice little setup here. Apple not doing too much right now, just moving sideways. Coin with a little pop up over, right off the VWAP. Again, came right off the VWAP. And I'm going to get something to eat. It's about 12:41. And thanks, YouTube folks, for being here today. I appreciate it. A lot of folks in there today. I appreciate that. Again, rightlinetrading.com if you're interested in joining the room of the alert service or buying the software. The software is really, really excellent and something I recommend people have. But in any case, thanks for being here today. I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow about 11:30. I try to start at around 11:30. So, Sam, you thought that was funny about trading with antacids? It's just, listen, it is funny, but trading under stressful conditions like that, that's why you want to keep emotions out of trading. That's why you don't overtrade. That's why you don't put too much money in a trade, because it has a really negative effect on your trading ability. You don't trade well, and it also stresses you out. And stress is not something you want to have when you're trading. You have enough of it, even just trading normally. But that's why having high probability trade setup strategies that you can follow and use, I think gives you the best edge over the rest of the millions and millions of retail traders out there who have no damn idea what they're doing, most of them. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.